Listen, everybody, behind me is Carlos King, okay, a producer of reality TV on the OWN network, and the fans are pissed with him. I mean pissed, okay? They started a petition. They want him removed from his duties over there on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, you know what? I'm not one for the cancel culture, and I don't think that toxic reality TV started and nor will it end with Carlos King. But what are your feelings? Do you think that Carlos King should be canceled? Do you think he should be removed from producing Love and Marriage Huntsville? Do you think all the toxic behavior that we see on that show starts, ends, and begins with Carlos King? Let me know your thoughts, everybody. Cancel or not cancel Carlos King?
Carlos King has always been the man behind the curtain, the creative genius pulling the strings, crafting unforgettable storylines, and making reality TV magic. But this time, the script has flipped, because now the king of reality television isn't producing the drama, he's living it. In a shocking twist that nobody saw coming, Carlos King is officially taking legal steps against Bell Collective star Sogucci Williams.
Okay.
My office used to be above credit one.
I thought you were a nurse.
No parties. However,
Do you need the office as a
you,
nurse?
Denard, Marcel,
Where's Martha laughing?
they would hang out. Part of the reason even they wanted black was they wanted a place where they could go and hang out.
And do what?
Listen
Carlos.
to music, drink, play
So
cards.
Kimmy, I'm gonna say this to you.
Oh,
I'm
Carlos.
a gay man.
Child.
I can assure you, no man is hanging out after hours listening to Beyonce Renaissance.
No, I don't think they were doing it. I don't think they were. No, no, no.
What started as behind-the-scenes tension has exploded into something much bigger, a legal showdown that's got everyone in the reality TV world talking. Fans are stunned, cast members are choosing sides, and suddenly, the man who built an empire on other people's stories is now at the center of one himself. But how did it all reach this point? What pushed Carlos King to finally take action? And could this lawsuit change the future of Bell Collective or even reality TV itself?
A lot of stuff, and I ain't happy about none of it. I'm trying to figure out what the going on anyway. I mean, she had no business goddamn putting her hands on you.
I mean, that's my thing. You gonna act like this in front of your daughter, Sanjay?
Sanjay acting more like the adult. That's the way she's supposed to.
Well, get ready, because this story goes way deeper than most people realize. And trust me, the tea is boiling hot. Carlos King didn't just stumble into fame, he built it. From his early days producing The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Carlos quickly became known as the mastermind behind unforgettable television. He had an instinct for drama, the kind that kept people glued to their screens, shouting at the TV, and tweeting all night long. When he launched Bell Collective, fans immediately knew they were in for something special. The show wasn't just another reality series. It was a celebration of powerful women in Mississippi, balancing business, friendship, and the kind of drama that only real life can create.
Girls are fighting again. Okay, not the girls. So Carlos King, former producer of Real Housewives and now the producer of Love and Marriage franchise on OWN, is slamming the Real Housewives of Dubai, calling them fake.
I like to say the Real Housewives of bye-bye. Because for me, those women studied every single housewife. And it's hard for me to get into them because I don't think they're being themselves. What do y'all think?
Okay, I've only seen one, maybe 1.5 episodes. The only thing that stands out to me is the model girl.
Same.
Right, but I think he's talking about her. I feel like...
but I feel like
Chanel.
Okay, yes.
She's the main
but I feel
one.
like she's at least entertaining to watch. The others is like paint drying, right? So she keeps me, I'm looking for her for the next scene. So I will give her that.
Y'all, we about to be clips. They gonna clip this up. Oh.
Under Carlos's vision, Bell Collective grew into a fan favorite, praised for its authenticity and raw emotion. But behind the glitz, glam, and success, cracks were forming. Because reality TV, no matter how polished it looks, always has another side. As the seasons rolled on, one woman's experience started to stand out: Sogucci Williams. She was strong, confident, outspoken, a natural fit for reality television. But soon, her storyline took a turn that left her feeling exposed and betrayed. She claimed that during filming, she was pushed into emotional situations for the sake of entertainment. She said producers manipulated scenes, twisted words, and painted her as the villain, all to create more buzz for the show.
Happy Sunday, Raindrops. The word of the day is stop living in the past. The past is in the rearview mirror of your life. If you look at where you want to go, look at the windshield.
And the person she blamed for all of it was Carlos King himself. At first, most fans thought it was just standard reality TV tension, cast members venting after a rough season. But then, Sogucci started speaking out publicly. She shared details about what she called unfair treatment, claiming that the production team, led by Carlos, leaned into her conflicts to boost ratings while ignoring her emotional well-being. According to her, things went too far during her feud with fellow cast member Selena Johnson. Sogucci said the production team knew the fight was getting personal, but instead of stepping in, they fueled it. She claimed they filmed every explosive moment, edited scenes to make her look worse, and left her dealing with the fallout alone. For Sogucci, it wasn't just TV anymore. It was real life, and it was painful. In one emotional interview, she broke down as she explained how the experience affected her. She said she often left filming feeling drained, anxious, and unsupported. What viewers saw as good television was, for her, a breaking point. Carlos King, however, stayed mostly silent. Known for keeping his business private, he didn't clap back or make public comments. But behind the scenes, he was taking notes. And when the situation began to spiral, when the headlines started suggesting he was exploiting his cast, that's when things began to change. Because now, according to multiple insiders, Carlos King is finally taking steps toward a lawsuit against Sogucci Williams, and it's shaking up the entire reality TV world. Legal experts say Carlos's move centers around defamation and breach of contract. Defamation because Sogucci's public claims allegedly damaged his reputation and business. Breach of contract because reality TV stars typically sign strict agreements preventing them from revealing production secrets or making negative statements about the show. And let's be clear, Carlos King's name is more than just a brand, it's his empire. He's built relationships with major networks, developed hit shows, and established himself as one of the most powerful producers in Black reality television. So when someone publicly questions his ethics, especially a cast member from one of his biggest shows, it's not just gossip, it's business. That's why, according to insiders close to the production, Carlos felt he had no choice but to take legal action. It wasn't just about pride, it was about protection. He reportedly believes Sogucci's comments could cause networks and sponsors to question his professionalism. And in the TV world, reputation is everything. But here's the twist. This legal move didn't just silence the drama, it made it explode. As soon as word spread that Carlos King was preparing to sue, social media lit up. Some fans sided with him, saying enough was enough. They argued that Sogucci crossed a line by publicly attacking the man who gave her a platform. Carlos made her a star, one fan wrote. Now she's biting the hand that fed her. But others saw it differently. Supporters of Sogucci rushed to defend her, calling her brave for speaking out about what really happens behind the scenes of reality TV. One comment read, "She's just telling her truth. If the producers can show her life on camera, why can't she share what happened off camera?" It's a debate that's dividing the Bell Collective fan base and putting the show's future in question. Because if the lawsuit moves forward, it could set a powerful precedent. If Carlos wins, it could send a message to all reality stars. Speaking out against production can come with serious consequences. But if Sogucci fights back and wins, it might open the door for other cast members to tell their own stories, unfiltered and unedited. Either way, this isn't just about one lawsuit. It's about the power dynamics in reality television. Who controls the story, who gets to tell it, and who pays the price when things go wrong. Behind the scenes, insiders say the tension between Carlos and Sogucci had been brewing for months before any lawsuit was filed. Some crew members allegedly noticed the change in energy on set. What used to be a fun, creative environment reportedly became tense and cautious. People whispered about contracts, NDAs, and production rules. Nobody wanted to say the wrong thing. Meanwhile, Sogucci continued to share her side online, sometimes directly, sometimes through subtle posts that fans quickly picked apart. She hinted at manipulation, favoritism, and emotional exhaustion. Every post sparked another wave of speculation. And when she gave that now famous interview where she spoke openly about her struggles and her disappointment in Carlos, it felt like the point of no return. During that interview, Soguchi's voice cracked as she said, "I thought I was telling my story, but it turns out someone else was writing it for me." That line hit millions of viewers. It captured what so many reality stars have said over the years, that the line between entertainment and exploitation is thinner than people think. Carlos, however, saw it as an attack. And when the story began spreading on blogs, with his name attached to words like manipulative and unethical, he reportedly decided enough was enough. This was no longer about reality TV. It was about his life's work, his legacy, and his future. For Carlos King, this legal step is risky but strategic. He's built his entire career on storytelling, controlling narratives, shaping perceptions, and knowing exactly how to keep audiences hooked. Now, for the first time, he's fighting to control the narrative about himself. Sources say his team is carefully preparing to defend his brand, collecting statements, contracts, and footage that show how production was handled fairly. Some even claim Carlos plans to use behind-the-scenes evidence to prove that every cast member, including Sogucci, agreed to how the show would be filmed and edited. In other words, he's ready to fight back, not just in court, but in the court of public opinion. Still, this move has left people wondering, why now? Why take legal action after months of silence? Insiders suggest that Carlos initially hoped the situation would die down on its own. But as Soguchi's claims gained traction and started being picked up by bigger platforms, he realized silence could look like guilt. Filing a lawsuit sends a clear message. He's not backing down, and he's ready to defend his name. And honestly, that shouldn't surprise anyone who knows Carlos King. He's always been a fighter, determined, focused, and unafraid of controversy when the stakes are high. But let's talk about the emotional side of all this, because no matter how professional or polished things look, this is personal. For Sogucci, this lawsuit feels like retaliation. Imagine pouring your heart out, sharing your truth, and suddenly being hit with legal papers. She's reportedly hurt and frustrated, believing she's being punished for being honest. Her supporters say she's standing up for herself, while others think she's poking the wrong bear. For Carlos, it's the opposite. This isn't just about money or contracts, it's about his integrity. He spent years building his name, often defending his shows against critics who say reality TV is toxic. So when someone from inside his own production turns around and questions his ethics, it cuts deep. It's not just business, it's betrayal. People close to him say he feels blindsided, especially since he once believed he had a good working relationship with Sogucci. He reportedly admired her charisma and thought she brought authenticity to the show. To see things spiral into this kind of public war, it's heartbreaking. And now, both of them are left dealing with the emotional toll. Sogucci is facing public scrutiny, dealing with online hate, and preparing for what could be a long legal fight. Carlos is fighting to preserve his legacy, his livelihood, and his peace of mind, all while continuing to produce new projects under the public eye. This isn't just drama for TV anymore. This is real life with real consequences. What makes this situation even more fascinating is how it might shape the future of reality TV. For years, fans have questioned how real these shows really are. Cast members have hinted at producers pushing storylines, editing conflicts, or creating false tension. But rarely does it spill over into an actual legal battle. This case could change that. If Carlos wins, producers everywhere might tighten their contracts, making it even harder for stars to speak out. But if Sogucci stands her ground and proves her claims, it could empower others to expose what happens behind the cameras. Either way, it's clear. The line between entertainment and exploitation has never been blurrier. And as all this unfolds, Bell Collective is caught in the middle. Fans love the show for its authenticity, but now they're questioning everything. Can the show survive this level of controversy? Will cast members feel safe returning next season? Or will this be the scandal that ends one of Carlos's most successful franchises? Only time will tell. What nobody expected was how much this story would resonate with fans outside the show. Across social media, people are debating bigger issues about power, control, and the emotional cost of fame. Some say it's time for producers to take more responsibility for their cast's mental health. Others argue that reality TV stars know what they're signing up for, and that the drama is part of the deal. But no matter what side you're on, one thing's certain: this situation has pulled back the curtain on a part of reality TV that viewers rarely get to see, the part where contracts, emotions, and reputations collide. And in the middle of it all stands Carlos King, the man who's always been in control, now forced to fight for control of his own story. In the end, this isn't just a legal battle, it's a wake-up call. For Carlos King, it's about defending his legacy. For Sogucci Williams, it's about standing in her truth. For fans, it's a reminder that what we see on TV is only a fraction of the full picture. Behind every argument, every edited scene, and every dramatic reunion special, there are real people, real emotions, and real consequences. So as Carlos King finally takes legal steps against Sogucci Williams, one question remains: will this move protect his empire, or will it expose a side of reality TV that even he can't control? Because sometimes the most dramatic story isn't the one on screen. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Carlos King is justified in suing Sogucci Williams? Or is this his way of silencing a cast member who simply wanted to tell her truth? Let's talk about it in the comments, because this story is far from over. And trust me, the next chapter is going to be even wilder.